In this review, I'm not only giving my complete thoughts of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, but I'm also giving my thoughts and suggestions for what Owlcat Games can do next. I've been spending a lot of time with this game recently, and I've had a lot of fun, but it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are some dark, demonic things about this game that will bring any gamer to tears. Let's begin with the good parts of the game. The game itself is a grand scale of role playing adventure that offers a vast world to explore and engage with. There are intricate dialogues, extensive lore, and a compelling storyline that could keep you hooked for hours on end. The level of detail in the narrative could be a testament to its tabletop RPG roots. The environments are rich and immersive, at least more than in Kingmaker. They did a wonderful job of adding traps and environmental objects that could influence the battle. For example, in one instance, you could push down a collapsing pillar on top of an enemy. The bad part is that these instances are few at best and practically non existent. I've never felt the urge to look around the landscape to see if the developers put in any environmental objects. On the bright side, it's good to see them exploring such aspects of the game. Hopefully, we see more in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. The best part of the game will have to be that it truly embodies the spirit of the Pathfinder rule system. Sure, not every class, race, or spell is available, but it gets as close as possible to playing Pathfinder in a video game format, being able to go to 20th level while other similar RPGs opt for a lower max level is also amazing. The game is truly amazing, and I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys role playing games. However, there are two areas where I've found the game to struggle. The first area is the AI in combat. Despite its numerous strengths, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous often falters when it comes to the intelligence of its combat AI. There are moments when you'd expect your enemies to act in a certain way, strategically, using the best skills at their disposal and exploiting my team's weaknesses. Yet too often they do not. Many times, the enemy will choose moves that are blatantly non optimal, like casting a non damaging spell in a crucial moment or attacking a creature with a clear immunity to a certain type of damage. This lack of intelligence can transform what should be epic strategic combat into a frustrating experience. It's even more annoying when your summoned creatures and non controllable allies do the same thing. And don't get me started on how they tend to walk away from the enemy in front of them to attack the same type of enemy that is further away, provoking attacks of opportunity. I just don't understand it. While this might not be a game breaking flaw for some, it does hinder the overall immersion and challenge of the game. In a world so detailed and thoughtfully constructed, it's disappointing to see the AI not living up to the rest of the experience. The second area is the Crusade system. I'll have to say that Owlcat Games did a great job with the system overall. They were able to successfully integrate a strategic system within their RPG that is realistic and fits within the story. The fact that my armies have to clear forts for my party to progress to other parts of the map further immerses me into the war torn, demon infested patch of land known as the World Wound. I also like the different unit types and simple tactical combat. I get the feeling of playing a very light version of Pokemon in the sense that I can collect different types of units. Most of the time, I have them in reserve while my main team clears the map. All of this is fun and engaging, but it's still just an add on. Owlcat Games did a great job with the implementation, but one can tell that the strategic elements fall short. For example, the best general is a spellcaster, period. If you ever face a demon general, then you understand this as well. A spellcaster general can use Scorching Ray, which serves as an additional source of damage. Essentially, the general functions as another unit, but stronger. Eventually, you will have the option to have the general learn the heal spell when he or she levels up. If you have spent a decent amount of time playing any game with turn based combat, then you know the importance of action economy and the importance of having a dedicated healer. Sure, you can get far with the other general types. I started with a warrior, but I was mostly relying on my troops because the warrior mainly was buff spells. I'm not going to say that they are a waste of time, but from my experience, there's no point in casting them. I didn't see any difference With the Spellcaster General, you can take a more involved approach with your abilities. I also must mention that the resurrection mechanic for the Lich Mythic Path is terrible. Surely we should be able to choose if skeletons or zombies are resurrected. It seems like this aspect was streamlined. This goes for the leveling up process for generals as well. Instead of a tree, so we can plan out the general's progression, 3 feat options are given and we choose between them. To make a long story short, they could have gone more in depth with the system and made it more enjoyable. I understand that the Crusade system isn't the focus of the game, so that's why I'm not too concerned about it. Plus, they were able to make a more enjoyable and involved system than Kingmaker's Kingdom Management, which leaves me excited for what they do in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Another gripe I have is the sporadic voice acting. I get it, the team is fairly new and it's a big game, so they didn't have the budget to have all of the dialogue voiced. They opted for what they consider the highlights of the game, but then sprinkle in some voice acting on certain other quests. I'm hoping that they will take advantage of AI and have all of their games after Rogue Trader fully voiced. With all of that being said, Wrath of the Righteous is one of my top 5 RPGs, even among games like Skyrim. I might change my list after Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 come out later this year. Owlcat Games have created a good base with their first 2 games. I have no issue with the core mechanics except for how AI behaves in combat. Personally, I would like to see the implementation of AI to give all enemies a history and personality so they will act in unique ways when it comes to combat. I think this will be easier in the long run instead of just trying to program them to target a specific type of enemy or behave in predetermined ways. Also, they should double down on their strategic systems. With Wrath of the Righteous, they made their strategic layer more involved and immersive. They should continue that momentum and spend more time with the mechanics and balancing to make it viable with any playstyle. I'm excited to see what Owlcat Games has in store for us next. Rogue Trader looks like we will get more of what the publisher does best. If you enjoyed this video, please like it for the YouTube algorithm.